Something I noticed is that a lot of people seem to struggle with doing the dungeons and Yeeps. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to beat every single one without dying once. Now before we start this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 5K by the end of the year, and if you could do that, that would be very much so appreciated. Anyways, let's get on with the video because this one's going to be a long one. First dungeon we have is the Old Mines, and it's located in Gnome Capital down here. You go through here and you enter the Old Mines. Now simply what you want to do is just complete the parkour. And once you get to this part, there are wasps that spawn here. You need to be fast. You go here, get onto this first one, and then successfully get to the second one and run into the cave. That'll prevent you from taking any damage. Then you just go ahead and jump down and you get to this part, where you actually don't need to kill any of the mobs. You just need to be really careful. The first thing you want to do is grab this key over here. You then want to bring it over to here. And then you want to take this green key and bring it up here. And finally bring the orange key over to here to get the gold key. And once you do that, the door will open, allowing you to grab all of the loot for yourself. And that is successfully one of 5 dungeons complete. The next dungeon is the Frost Vault, where you're gonna need to go over to Mountain Pass, over to Snow Village, into Wolf Valley, and going all the way over to this danger sign, where you'll find the entrance to the Frost Vault. Now this dungeon is a little more tricky than the last one. You just want to successfully make it past all this brittle block parkour. If you're rather skilled at the game, you can easily just go ahead and wall run against this entire wall here, or you can use a grapple arrow, which is making things a lot easier. Now once you go through here, you're going to enter into this room, and most people think you have to put in all of the keys in order to get into that room, but that's not the case. This little slab pattern over here shows you the pattern that you need to put onto there. All you need to do is just recreate that pattern on the screen. Now we enter this room, when you need to press all the buttons at the same time, and the most effective way of doing this is using bombs. You want to put one bomb at every single button. One here, can't forget about the one here, right here, and that's all of them. I messed up, crap. Once you detonate everything, it'll open the door. And then you can grab all your crystals and successfully run back. And that, my friends, is the second dungeon. The third dungeon is Facility X, which counts as a dungeon. So you're going to want to go to Mountain Pass and through this sliding door. You'll find this sinkhole where all you have to do is jump all the way down and enter into here. Now I won't actually be completing this one as it's really hard to do, but I'll show you how to complete the first 4 puzzles. For the first puzzle, you just want to go ahead and turn all of these on. For the second puzzle, you want to activate both of these computers. For the third puzzle, you're going to want to go to the experiment area, go through here, turn on the teleporters, and keep going through them until you enter this secret room. Then you're going to want to press orange and purple, and that'll activate the third one. The final one is over here, and you have to throw grenades at all these buttons. And after you do all of that, you can go ahead and go through here. Now this is when it gets difficult. For the start, you're going to want to take 2 red keys, and once you get in here, you're going to need to go grab another red key, because you need 2 of them for this little puzzle here. After you activate this, it'll turn on the lights and start spawning bugs. You need to kill around 8 bugs, and each bug that you kill will give you a key. After you activate that, spitting snails and giant bugs will spawn into this room, with the spitting snails giving the purple ones and the giant bugs giving the dark purple ones, which you need 4 of in order to get into here. My personal advice is getting a spitting snail key, going down to the shop, and getting a chainsaw. Once you do all that, you'll be able to enter the vault and grab your radiation things. I don't know what they're called. For the next dungeon, Lava Depths, we're going to have to take a long walk. You're going to want to go back to Gnome Capital. Once you're in Gnome Capital, you want to stay in this bottom area and go into here, which will take you to Mushroom Cavern. Go down this rope and take a turn over to here. This will lead you into the ocean biome. Want to go into Ocean Village? And then go over to here where you'll see Volcano. After you go into Volcano, over here you'll see a pillow that you can break in order to get into this passageway here. And then you can enter the Lava Depths. Now this one is kind of a tricky one, especially when you're alone, so there's a couple things I recommend for this. Number one, if you're not good at parkour, find some sort of gadget in order to send you over to the place that you need to go to without taking a lot of cotton. For this, I'm just going to use a grapple arrow, but I would normally just go ahead and do the parkour. Once you get to this part, it's a little tricky, because you're going to have to do some parkour unless you're building with pillows. Now there are wasps in this room, so you have to be really careful, but you want to get into this corner area. And then you'll see this room with a whole bunch of armored crabs. Now stay away from these guys as they can insta-kill you. For this next part, I recommend using a grapple arrow. But for this part, you're going to need to use some pillows. But you're going to be careful on where the armored crabs are, as if you're not careful, they can easily destroy the pillows. Once you go through here, you'll enter this little maze area. And you want to be really careful of where you're going and follow exactly where I'm going. Now you're going to get to this part where there's some armored crabs. Now you're going to want to wait until the exact right moment. And then you'll get to here where you can just use some pillows to make it easier. And go around this corner and through here. And you're done with the maze part and you are at the final area where there are a lot of wasps, so you have to be careful. Now with this, I would recommend a couple of things. Use a gadget that can really easy send you to different places. You don't have to care about the cotton. You get like grapplers or something. Next, I like to use slow falling, and we're just gonna run it. We're gonna go over to this corner and get this yellow key, but then you go over here and get this orange key, which then you go up here and get this red key, and finally you want to go over here and get this neon red key. Now all you want to do is get inside the vault. And you can go ahead and grab your crystals, and I'd recommend finding a way to regenerate on cotton first before going out there. Now this final dungeon is the hardest one. So you're going to want to go back to Mushroom Cavern, back through the water, through here, into Fantasy Village, and then there's two things you can do. Number one, just go straight to Frog Forest, or if you have the silver beans, go ahead and buy this purple dungeon key. This is the simpler way. There are some other ways, like waiting for people to open the door for you, but this one I find is just a lot easier. You want to go over here, put the key in, and you'll be able to enter the Lost Frog Kingdom. Now, as I said before, this dungeon is by far the hardest one. Well, before you even get in, you're going to have to complete 3 different challenges, and each of them are quite difficult. The hardest one is definitely this one, where you have to crawl through a tiny space, but you can easily get past it by drinking a small potion. You're going to want to drink the small potion, and you can easily get through here. And you'll find the cyan key. Go back through here, and you have 1 out of 3 keys that you need. This one you can find over here by getting past all these saw blade things. And this one over here, the intention is that you build with pillows, but you can use gadgets to basically entirely cheat this. Once you put all 3 keys in, it will play this cool little effect, and the doors are open. For this first part, I recommend using a grapple arrow, and then you'll enter here. The first thing, the Curse of Health. And with this, you'll only have 500 stuffing. And then you'll get to this part, where I recommend using reinforced pillows in order to prevent the saw blades from going from behind you, and then just waiting for the right time in order to walk through here. After you do all that, you can make it up to here, and you'll find yourself at the Curse of Patience. Now with this, the order is right here for you, with the zeros being the correct ones and the hashtags being the wrong ones. But you can easily just kind of skip this if you remember the first few. If someone doesn't kill you, then you can kind of just run once you get to the halfway point. You're going to want to regen your cotton and grab any neon paint, preferably neon yellow or neon white. And you're going to want to take these pillows and follow this way that I'm going. This looks scary, but you're going to have to jump down, go through here, and you'll find the stairs. Now this is the final part of the first part of the dungeon, where what you're going to need to do is protect the beacon until that bar is full. So here's what I recommend. Make an entire thing out of reinforced pillows, and then grab some turrets. After you do that, what you have to do is grab a couple of fly swatters, as these are the most effective weapon against bugs, and press this button right here to start. Now the turrets are going to do a lot of the work for you, but you still have to be really careful. At a certain point, it's going to try to trick you by releasing bugs through this tiny little hole in the back. Put a couple of turrets there and you'll probably be fine. Once the timer is over, you're going to be able to go through here and get to the main area of this thing. The throne room is difficult because you have to kill that boss right there. A lot of people just try immediately going in. You don't do that. You have to wait for its stomach to open. Once you kill it, for the most part, all the bugs will despawn besides these guys. And once you do that, it'll drop a little bit of loot on the ground that you can put into a bag. And of course, grab your fantasy crystals. And that is officially all 5 of the dungeons in Yeeps 2.0 officially fully completed. I shared all of my tips and tricks with you, and I really hope it helped. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, if this video helped, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 5K by the end of the year, and if you do that, that would be very much so appreciated. Anyways, I will see you all in the next one. Bye!